She was a painter of light.
Unlike anything they had ever seen before.
When dancing, she looks like a beautiful fairy, spinning and floating in the air.
But it was more than that. It was a special effect that was its own miracle on stage.
So hats off to Miss Fuller. I wish she were around. There are questions I'd love to ask her.
Well, we're talking to Ziva Olbaum and Sabine Kryenbuhl about their latest project. How many projects does this film, which is called Obsessed with Light, how many projects does this make for you guys in whatever capacities?
Two that we've co-directed, and then we had a film where we met that Sabina edited and I produced.
That counts. So this
Yeah.
is your fourth film that you've both.
This is the third. This will be our third. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like this direction, right, where you bring to our attention sort of female artists who have, or not artists, women that have been kind of written out of history, more or less, for one reason, or maybe that's a strong maybe in Loewe's case, that's a strong term, but maybe hasn't gotten the full attention that they deserve. How's that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting when we were starting the project. This has always been our passion to try to sort of, dig out these women. And after we finished Letters from Baghdad, we were looking for a new project, a new woman. And I had worked on a documentary as an editor where it came to my attention, this film clip. The film was called Picasso and Braque Go to the Movies. And this film clip of a serpentine dancer, which actually turned out to be the earliest hand-tinted clip there is ever. And it was mesmerizing and really unusual. And there was very little said about the person which invented this serpentine dance, which was Loie Fuller. So we decided, let's see who this person is. What's behind it? Why is this such it's actually quite a well-known clip for film historians, especially have, seen this clip. So we started digging.
And just to tell you a little bit more about our process, when we started to research, we came across tons of references, as you saw in the film, from performers and artists and choreographers and designers. And we were so surprised, really, that we just felt we need to really research this person and see what she's all about.
Yes, and also when we started talking to some of the interviewees, some of them, they had, of course, they had seen the clips and they were in some way or another fascinated by it, but really very few knew more about Loie Fuller. They knew it was Loie Fuller. They knew she was a dancer. That she was famous in Paris. Right. Became famous, but they really, basically no one knew. And also we discovered that even in the dance history books, she's not really well represented.
Well,
she's a footnote. Yeah, she's basically has become a footnote in those history books in dance.
Partly maybe due to the, like the being diluted by many, ersatz versions, like people that stole her entire concept and then, took credit for it or whatever. It seems almost it seems ridiculous. I mean, there's like maybe I'm going to guess something between 4 and 6. Maybe I'm being conservative about how many projects that, like Ziva, you mentioned whether they're dance or dance or I mean, there's also it's affected the what's the right word? Fashion, of course, industry, and theater, and all these different disciplines that she had an impact on. And yet, it seems like during the course of your film, there's all these different projects going on influenced by Loie. How is that possible? Or maybe you're presenting her to them. They then decided to create their projects. Maybe you guys influence them. I don't know. It seems
So
kind of unusual.
we sort of found that she was really in the zeitgeist because even now we heard of a dance company who's doing a project in the fall
Wow.
on Loie Fuller or inspired by Loie Fuller. So I think we're just sort of riding a wave that's there, but I think
Okay.
also that the film has made more apparent, of course, and obvious, and pulled a lot of so much material together that people possibly are saying, oh yeah, Loie Fuller. Oh, I was thinking about Loie Fuller. Before our film launched, the New York Public Library had one of Loie Fuller's costumes that they presented in their Treasures of the Collection. I mean, so these things, so she's in little bits and pieces all over the place. An opera
Interesting.
that's
Right.
being performed in Texas, someone else that's doing a musical based in Milwaukee.
That is really remarkable.
Yeah, I think I want to just add to that. I think the fascination with her comes also from this convergence of technology and art. And I think that we are living in a time when that is really happening a lot throughout, that people are seeking out, ideas that combine these two things. And she was really the predecessor. So
Right.
it's sort of like, here she is 100 years later, really, really au courant, like what she's doing. You couldn't find a better 100 years later to sort of bring her out, because that's what we're living in. Everybody is working with the newest technology and trying to combine, and you have all these museums that are doing event-driven spaces and experiential spaces. So that was her. And
right.
so now she's back.
You're referring to, not only does she invented this serpentine type of dancing, which included a particular type of wardrobe, like it's almost like what we would think of as a diaphanous sort of sheet type of with sticks or wands that allow for the sleeves, which allow her to create this incredible choreography. And then on top of it, which was really almost even more astounding for some woman of her time and her gender, to also have this fascination, as the title suggests, with lighting technology and just being so far ahead. It's just so great that you guys have made the film to show this incredible talent that this woman had.
I mean, when you think
Creating some sort of an experience. She created an experience for people, a multi kind of a sensory experience for people. That's what she did.
Exactly. When you remember that she took out patents in 1892, and also if you keep in mind that she performed with Buffalo Bill and was born during the Civil War, I mean, it sort of makes your head explode.
Yeah.
How, her curiosity was so intense, and she just forged ahead into modernity, basically.
She really was at the forefront of modernity. I mean, modern dance to some degree. One can't give her sole credit, obviously, for just creating modern dance, but she was there and she was one of the progenitors, right?
Absolutely.
Amazing. You mentioned Buffalo Bill. Well, just to give people a sense of this person, starts with Buffalo Bill, but ends up like, with Auguste Rodin, and it's quite a
And Marie Curie.
Madame Curie
And Taylor Swift.
and Taylor. It's all there. That's
Yeah.
right. Her
Yeah.
influences and her reach. Yeah. So people, I meant, of course, I was in a crunch right before. I meant to write down. Your guys are going to be at the Berkshires International Film Festival, which, I'm going to put this up like immediately. But I want people to come out and see this film. So just remind me, it's going to be I assume at the Triplex,
Yes.
correct? Do you have the
Great Barrington
in Great Barrington?
4 p.m. on Friday.
4 p.m. on Friday. That's the 31st of May. And excellent.
And
people
we will be there for a Q&A.
Yeah, even better. And I'm gonna get over there myself on Friday and see you guys there.
Oh, good.
This is a film which really has to be seen not on an iPhone, not on an iPad, not even on a home projector screen, but really on a movie theater screen. And I have no doubt it will make its way to it. You guys are pretty what's the right term?
Determined.
Determined is certainly in there. Yeah. But I mean, making documentaries, first of all, raising the money, getting all these incredible people that you spoke to. There are teams. I was watching the credit roll at the end, and it's just like you have your American team, your Zurich team, the Paris team, the Berlin team. I may be wrong on some of the cities, but the point is that this is this is a global story, and it's a global documentary. So you must have sold a lot of T-shirts, I guess.
Well, what is interesting,
or contributors,
Adam, is in a way, we were shooting during COVID. I mean, the film was produced during COVID. We started before COVID, like in 2018 we started.
Wow. Yeah.
But then, of course, COVID shut us down like everybody else. But in a way, it gave us a little bit of an upstart, because all these interviews that we actually, or let's say for the most part, not all of them, we did some before and after, but for the most part, they were conducted via Zoom. They were, we had a crew locally in the towns where our talents were, and were able to do this via Zoom, partly because we also chose a very simple background, which made it easier to sort of create a common, bring them all together without people even noticing that it would be in different cities. So in a way, we were blessed by COVID, even though it was obviously horrible, because all the archives were closed. That really was terrible.
Yeah. Well, the footage that we see is really just beautiful, and it's goes back to like a trip to the moon, right? Early part of the Melior brothers, like that era of the very beginning of cinema.
Yeah. Well, we really love archival footage. That's something that's really fundamental to how we like to do films, and even to our partnership, to our collaboration. We got a total of about 1,800 film clips after researching, because we researched for more than 4 years. And in the film, we use 500 film clips, archival film clips. So
wow. Yeah.
And
it's a 90-minute, this is a 90-minute film that we're not talking about. What are you going to do when it's ready for the broadcast and you've got to whittle it down even more?
we did that already.
That's Sabine, good for you. That must have been hard for you, though.
Well, actually,
as editor, Sabine Kreinbuhl is primarily Sabina. Don't correct me on my own podcast. I've known you too long. I'm surrounded. I apologize. It's not that I don't know. I've known you for many years, and we were neighbors in a way. And but I'm surrounded by Sabines now, so I apologize, Sabine.
No worries. I mean, you know, we're cutting it down. Usually we try to work with someone else to help us
I
do
see.
that. But the reason why we already did it, because we have Outlook is our sales agent, international sales agent. So we've already started making international sales, and immediately they want, of course, a broadcast
I
version.
see. Okay.
But we also are, we recently signed with a US distributor, which is Film Movement, and we are hoping
Oh, great.
to have a theatrical release in the fall or early 2025. So
That's awesome. That's fantastic. It deserves it. I mean, really, you guys are doing something very special. And are you looking for your next subject?
We're always
You're always right. You're always
we're
on the
always
yeah. You don't have to
But
wait till
we're
you finish one
tough
project.
customers, though. We're tough customers. It has to,
Yeah.
the subject has to check a lot of boxes.
Right. Certainly not be the like subject of another documentary for one. I imagine.
yeah,
Right.
we will see.
Well, again, the name of this film is called Obsessed with Light. It's co-directed by Sabina Kryenbuhl and Ziva Olbaum. My God, it's my ultimate nightmare is mispronouncing names. And, often I'll ask somebody who I don't know, like, how do you pronounce your name beforehand? So I don't slip up like that. And they'll say, oh, it doesn't matter how. And I'll be, I'm like, of course it matters. So my litmus was always like, how does your mother say your name? And then that's how we'll do it. We'll just Obsessed with Light. It will be having it's I don't know, Massachusetts premiere.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. New England?
Yeah.
Yes.
New England premiere? Okay. Northeast? No, I'll stop where I am.
No.
It'll have its New England premiere at the Berkshires International Film Festival, bifma.org, on Friday, May 31st at 4:30, you said?
4 p.m.
4 p.m., excuse me, at 4 p.m. at the Triplex in Great Barrington. It's a theater which was almost gone. It was almost lost to, on the unfortunate path that so many art house cinemas are, it's hard to get people to go out and support local art house theaters. But, and in fact, it was on the last day of the last Berkshires Festival that it was supposed to be shut down. It was supposed to be done, but the community rallied. And, they've been doing, I mean, it's still not like, guaranteed that it will survive. They have to do lots of benefits and, but fortunately the community has been coming out and it's still, thank goodness, operating. And it will be here for the entire, obviously, Berkshires International Film Festival. So I'm glad you guys will be there, and I'll see you there at the Triplex.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
so
Adam.
much.
This was
Okay.
great.
We
All right, and we
appreciate
can do it again for the broadcast / theatrical, whatever comes for. We'll do this again. We'll talk about it again. I'll ask the same questions again, or I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
All
Thank-
right.
Thank you
We'll
so
see you
much.
then.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience and being flexible. I really, really thank you for that. I appreciate it.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great evening.
Bye.
Say hi to Scott.
I will.
Do my best.
Bye.
All right. Good seeing you.